This is software engineering and project management. And welcome to this class. And you you don't have to come to my class for one thing. I don't take attendance. The reason being that each class, what I'm doing right now, actually I'm recording the lecture so that I would put the lecture on YouTube. Okay, so you can uh, look at it, and if you miss a class, then you can always uh, I will give you the link on the Google Classroom. So as long as you sign into your Google Classroom, you will see the link of each class. I tried to chop up the lesson into shorter than 30 minutes each chunk. So it means for this 2-hour class, you'll have 4 chunks of short, like 20 minutes each one. So you can, hopefully, if you're too busy, you can listen to it while you're on the MTR or even on the bus. So I try to give you more way you can choose from to learn. And in fact, when you see this, you only see this slide. But actually, if I have time, I would have some notes added text to it so that in addition to this slide, you will be able to see some additional notes that I try to explain that particular slide. So it will be easier when you are studying in a quiet room, you don't have a headphone, you don't in the library, you want to read. Some of my slides will have additional notes. Okay. I study mostly in Canada, but I also get my PhD in UK. And before teaching, I worked for 12 years. I spent most of the time with IBM Canada. And I've done compiler, I've done AI, and different things. Also, I've worked as a consultant for banks and insurance company. But I think it's too boring to do the same job over and over again. So I think teaching is a meaningful job, so I try it. And if I don't do a good job, please let me know, and I'll be happy to see how I can improve. Of course, I may not be able to be perfect, but if I improve a little bit each year, then I will be a better person next year than I am this year, like as a teacher. And you just met Raymond, okay? Raymond is one of our earlier graduates, so he had worked worked outside involving in project management. So I'm very happy to have him helping me as a tutor. He will help you also with your group project. And he's really into gaming, and also those, what do you call them in English, Hong Pa Gay. He's really good at it. So if you want to get into that, I'm sure he would share his experience with you. Okay, we both enjoy sports. We work out once a week together. Um, okay, so software engineering is a very different course. It's very unique among all your computing or engineering courses. Okay, some people don't like this course because this course forces them to read or to write more English than they're used to. Okay, because I think many of you come to take computing and engineering. Why? Because you enjoy technical stuff. So now you're taking my course. Someone forced you to read, forced you to write. Then you think you may think I'm a bad guy, but actually, in the future, you may thank me, okay? Because this course, we try to help you to be a better communicator, to work better in a project group. So if you can imagine you are a project leader, okay, you work extra hard, okay, you improve, you add 20, you produce 20% more work, but in a team of 5 people, you are only increasing 20% of one person, right? But if you are a very good project leader, you can make all your teammates improve 10%. Now your 5 teammates, 5 times 10% is 50%. So you have the improvement of 50% increase productivity of one person. So that's why this course is about project management too. So we want you to be able to work more efficiently as a group. Okay. Do you remember that at the beginning of the course, beginning of the class, I told you you don't have to come to my class, right? So I'm talking to the people in the second row right here. Thanks for one of you, the one in white shirt that stopped while your neighbor, or you can please elbow them and ask them, yes, thank you. In my class, I expect students to be relatively quiet. Like if you have to talk, I imagine sometimes you find something interesting, you want to make a comment to your neighbor, fine, that's all right. But don't stay in my class the whole time talking from the beginning to the end, because you're showing no respect to your lecturer. Okay, I think I respect you, but of course you may say, teacher, why don't you let me talk? You're not respecting my right. Okay, well, this is getting too philosophical. Okay, because in my class, I think lots of students like to learn in a more to be able to learn in a more concentrated, quiet environment. Okay, so this is one thing I'll do. I would record my lecture. I think I'm talking too slow, but I'll speed up a little bit. In case you cannot keep quiet in my class, you have to talk the whole time, then maybe you should go home and then let's just listen to the two. So we will have one test beginning of December. So allow you to get the feel of what kind of questions will appear in the exam. Okay. Of your group project and tutorials, Raymond will give you more details, what his expectations are. And I'm not sure if you know about this part, this regulation. If you get, we know that computing courses has OES worth 70% and OCAS 30%. So 70% with passing grade of 40, does it mean if you got full mark in 70%, you can get a pass in this course? No, it's not true, okay? Because there are some additional regulation. The regulation is that you need to have OCAS part, this part, the term score, OCAS, you have to have 30% from it. So because it's worth 30 marks, so 30% of 30 marks is 9 marks. So you have to get 9 marks out of 30 to get a pass. But if you want to get A's, B plus, A minus, then you need to have 40% from your OCAS, okay? Okay, about forming group. I know most of you want to have group mates that you know, but sometimes if you're very popular, you have 8 good friends, right? But 8, 9 is much bigger than the group size that we allow. So then 2 or 3 people have to be left out of the group, so you have to find new friends to form group with. So for you, it may be a small disappointment, but it may not be, because making new friends is, I think, is part of university education. So try to make new friends, and also being able to work with stranger is important, because when you graduate, one day you will have to work with lots of strangers. If in the 4 year in your university you never have the chance to work with as a stranger, then it's going to be difficult for you when you graduate. So I encourage to take this opportunity to work with perhaps some new members. And when you form the group, you don't have to have excellent programmers among all your teammates, because in a project group, there are different responsibilities. Some people may need to spend more time to do documentation. Some people need to write the report. Some people need to draw a diagram. So programming is not the only skills we need. So it's all right to accept some people who can contribute to your team in a different way. So you don't have, try to find the key word here is complementary skills. That means your skill set are not identical. Okay, some people will have different skills, and it is a good thing for a group. Okay, so now I try to motivate you to do well in this course. So let's talk about if you are going to have an IT career. Okay, so this course is very important. Why? Well, one thing, programming is only one of several skills. For a beginning person after graduation, programming may be the most important skills you can offer to your boss. But after a little while, maybe you want to get promoted to become a team leader, a project manager. Then in that case, you probably will need other skills. Your programming skills may become less and less important. Okay? In fact, we have a student who came back to share 1 or 2 years ago. I forgot his name, but of course I should not name anyway. He's one of those students who can barely pass, because he's quite weak in programming. So he barely passed our course and barely graduate. But then in the end, because of his interpersonal skills, he immediately become an analyst. So after graduation, he came back to share in his career, he never had to write a single line of code, but he enjoyed a very successful career because he's holding the position that he has to deal with the customer, which is very important. So he would give jobs to the programmers to do. So his experience in computing or engineering helped him to communicate well with the programmers, but he himself can be a very successful person, a team leader, analyst, without strong coding skills. So for those of you who are not like top programmer in this class, don't worry, because if you do well in other area, there are lots of opportunity to you. As I said, IT is not only about programming. There are a lot more. Okay. And also, another thing, point 4 here says, when you get a job interview, okay, it's a little bit hard for the person who interview you and ask you, write me a program. Okay, sometimes it happens. Okay, they ask you to write a program. They give you a computer, half an hour or 1 hour to write a program. But lots of time, they find it very easy to ask you questions about your software engineering course. So because it's so easy for them to ask that question, and based on your answer, they can easily tell whether you have learned something or not. So it is, be careful. SE, software engineering, is one of the area that people would ask you questions. Okay. Okay, how many engineering students are here? Can I see a raise of hand, show of hand? Okay. Very strange, very interesting. I think this is the first time I use this classroom, but somehow my engineering students tend to be occupied like this side, like they're more left people than sitting. They like to, I don't know why. It's strange because, oh, I didn't know that Raymond's still here. Okay. Sorry. Fortunately, I didn't say anything bad about Raymond. Okay. For the technical people, I mean for the engineering students, many of you are also good at writing programs. And in fact, the first generation of programmers, many of them has a background of engineering rather than computing. So keep your eyes open. Maybe your full-time job later on will be writing software. And even if you will be making hardware, today almost all the hardware has software component in it. So you probably will be either to produce the software yourself, or you will be working with teammates that produce software. So your skills in software is still important. Your skills in project management is still very important. So I want you to learn something from this course. So should be useful. Okay, so that is break time. So I'll save the file and have a okay.